Welcome, dear reader. Welcome to this inspiring English learning story, The Secret of Strong Habits. In this story, you will discover how small daily actions can completely change a person's life. Many people dream of success, confidence, better health, and happiness, but very few understand the secret behind achieving those goals. The truth is that success is not usually created by one big decision. Instead, it grows from small habits repeated every day. As you read this story, you will learn that strong habits are more powerful than motivation, talent, or luck. They help people continue moving forward even when they feel tired, discouraged, or afraid. The lesson of this story is simple but life-changing. When you build strong habits, you build a strong future. There was once a young person who always wanted a better life. Every morning began with good intentions. There were plans to wake up early, study more, exercise regularly, and spend less time on distractions. The goals were clear, and the desire to improve was real. However, as the days passed, those plans often disappeared. Some mornings started too late. Some evenings were wasted on activities that added no value. At the end of each week, there was disappointment because little progress had been made. The same cycle repeated again and again. New goals were created, excitement appeared for a few days, and then everything slowly returned to old routines. The dream of becoming better remained alive, but it always seemed far away. One day, while walking through a quiet neighborhood, this person noticed an elderly gardener working in a small garden. The garden was beautiful. Colorful flowers grew in neat rows. Healthy plants stood tall, and every corner looked alive. What was surprising was that the garden was not large or expensive. It was simple, yet it looked extraordinary. Curious about the secret, the young person asked the gardener how such a beautiful place had been created. The gardener smiled and explained that there was no secret talent involved. Every day, without fail, a little work was done. Some days involved planting seeds. Other days required watering, cleaning, or removing weeds. None of the tasks seemed impressive by themselves. However, after years of repeating those small actions, the garden became something special. The young person listened carefully but felt slightly disappointed. The answer sounded too simple. There had to be something more. Surely successful people had special abilities that ordinary people did not possess. The gardener noticed the expression and gently explained further. He pointed toward a large tree standing in the distance. The tree was strong and tall, providing shade to everyone nearby. The gardener said that many years ago it had been only a tiny seed. Nobody could have imagined its future size. Yet every day, nature did its work. Rain fell. Roots grew deeper. The tree continued growing even when nobody paid attention. The secret was not dramatic growth in a single day. The secret was consistent growth over many days. Those words remained in the young person's mind. For the first time, there was a realization that perhaps success was not about finding the perfect method or waiting for motivation. Perhaps it was about creating habits that could survive ordinary days. Motivated by this new idea, a simple plan was created. Instead of trying to change everything at once, only one habit would be developed. The goal was to read English for just 10 minutes every day. 10 minutes seemed almost too easy. There was no pressure to study for hours or finish entire books. The only requirement was to read something in English each day. The first week felt easy. Reading for 10 minutes required little effort. Some days were busy, but 10 minutes could still be found. During the second week, excitement began to fade. There were moments when skipping a day seemed tempting. After all, missing one day would not matter very much. However, the memory of the gardener's words returned. Strong habits are built through consistency, not intensity. So the reading continued. Some sessions were enjoyable, while others felt boring. Yet the habit remained alive. After several months, something interesting happened. English reading no longer felt like a difficult task. It became a natural part of daily life, similar to brushing teeth or eating breakfast. Vocabulary improved. Reading speed increased. Understanding became easier. The results had appeared so gradually that they were almost invisible. Looking back, however, the improvement was undeniable. What once seemed difficult now felt normal. A small habit had quietly created a significant change. Encouraged by this success, another habit was added. This time, it involved light exercise. Again, the goal was intentionally small. Instead of demanding an hour-long workout, only 15 minutes of movement were required each day. Some days involved walking. Other days included stretching or simple exercises at home. The focus was not on perfection. The focus was on showing up consistently. Just as before, the habit slowly became part of everyday life. Months passed, and the changes began extending beyond reading and exercise. Confidence grew because promises were being kept. Energy increased because the body was becoming healthier. Self-respect improved because actions finally matched intentions. An important discovery emerged during this period. Strong habits did not merely change behavior, they changed identity. Instead of thinking, "I want to become a person who reads," the thought became, "I am a reader." Instead of saying, "I should exercise," the belief became, "I am someone who takes care of health." These identity shifts created even stronger motivation to continue. Of course, the journey was not perfect. There were difficult days. Sometimes illness appeared. Sometimes unexpected problems disrupted routines. There were occasions when habits were missed. In the past, such mistakes would have led to giving up completely. Now, however, a different lesson had been learned. Missing once was a mistake. Missing repeatedly was a new habit. Therefore, whenever a habit was broken, it was restarted as quickly as possible. Progress mattered more than perfection. Consistency over time mattered more than flawless performance. One evening, while reflecting on the changes that had occurred, the young person realized something remarkable. The goals that once seemed impossible were slowly becoming reality. English skills had improved significantly. Physical health was better. Daily routines felt more organized. Yet none of these achievements came from extraordinary effort. They came from ordinary actions repeated over and over again. The secret of strong habits was finally becoming clear. Years later, others began asking questions. Friends wanted to know how confidence had increased. Family members wondered how so much progress had been made. The answer was always the same. There was no magical shortcut. There was no hidden formula. Success had grown from small habits practiced consistently. Reading a few pages each day became many books. Exercising for a few minutes each day became a healthier body. Learning a few words each day became stronger language skills. Tiny actions, repeated long enough, created powerful results. The lesson spread beyond personal improvement. It became clear that strong habits influence every area of life. Relationships improve when kindness becomes a habit. Financial stability grows when saving becomes a habit. Knowledge expands when learning becomes a habit. Confidence increases when keeping promises becomes a habit. The quality of life often reflects the quality of habits. People may focus on goals, but habits determine whether those goals are reached. The memory of the gardener remained unforgettable. That simple garden had revealed a truth that many people overlook. Beautiful gardens are not created in one day. Strong trees do not grow overnight. Successful lives are not built through occasional bursts of effort. They are built through daily actions that seem small but accumulate over time. Every positive habit is like planting a seed. At first, nothing appears to happen. Growth remains hidden beneath the surface. Yet with patience and consistency, the seed eventually becomes something strong and valuable. Today, whenever challenges appear, the same principle continues to provide guidance. Instead of worrying about massive changes, attention is placed on the next small action. One page can be read. One exercise session can be completed. one positive choice can be made. These simple actions may not seem important in the moment, but they are the building blocks of a better future. Every strong habit begins with a single repeated action.